Preface to A Little Garland of Celtic Verse. This is a LibriVox recording. All LibriVox recordings are in the public domain. For more information or to volunteer, please visit LibriVox.org. A Little Garland of Celtic Verse by various poets. Preface. When summer twilights fall, and the white rose's truce is over all, when winter walls us in and wild winds blow across the crumbling spaces of the snow, there will be always one or two who hold earth's coin of less account than fairy gold, their treasure not the spoil of crowds and kings, but the dim beauty at the heart of things they find more magical than any saith the old, old mask of love, of life and death. End of poem by L.M. Little, read by Czandra. Section 2 of A Little Garland of Celtic Verse by various poets. This LibriVox recording is in the public domain. Proem, Celtic Speech to Dr. Douglas Hyde. Never forgetful silence fall on thee, nor younger voices overtake thee, nor echoes from thine ancient hills forsake thee. Old music heard by moan of the sea, and where with moving melodies there break thee, pastoral Conway, venerable Dee. Like music lives, nor may that music die still in the far, fair Gaelic places. The speech, so wistful with its kindly graces, holy Croch Patrick knows, and holy High. The speech that wakes the soul in withered faces, and wakes remembrance of great things gone by. Like music, by the desolate land's end, mournful forgetfulness hath broken. No more words kindred to the winds are spoken, where upon iron cliffs whole seas expend that strength, whereof the unalterable token remains wild music, even to the world's end. End of poem by Lionel Johnson. Read by Czandra. Section 3 of A Little Garland of Celtic Verse by various poets. This LibriVox recording is in the public domain. Introduction. Lovely and loved, O passionate land, dear Celtic land, unconquered still, thy mountain strength prevails, thy winds have all their will. They have no care for meaner things, they have no scorn for brooding dreams. A spirit in them sings, a light about them beams. End of poem by Lionel Johnson. Read by Czandra. Section 4 of A Little Garland of Celtic Verse by various poets. This LibriVox recording is in the public domain. Dierdre's Lament for the Sons of Usnach, from the Irish. The lions of the hill are gone, and I am left alone, alone. Dig the grave both wide and deep, for I am sick and fain would sleep. The falcons of the wood are flown, and I am left alone, alone. Dig the grave both deep and wide, and let us slumber side by side. The dragons of the rock are sleeping, sleep that wakes not for our weeping. Dig the grave and make it ready, lay me on my true love's body. Lay there spears and bucklers bright by the warriors' sides aright. Many a day the three before me on their linked bucklers bore me. Lay upon the low grave floor, neath each head the blue claymore. Many a time the noble three reddened these blue blades for me. Lay the collars, as is meet, of their greyhounds at their feet. Many a time for me have they brought the tall red deer to bay. In the falcon's jesses throw hook and arrow, line and bow. Never again by stream or plain shall the gentle woodsman go. Sweet companions, Ye were ever harsh to me, your sister? Never. Woods and wilds and misty valleys were with you as good's a palace. Oh, to hear my true love singing, sweet as sound of trumpets ringing, like the sway of ocean swelling, rolled his deep voice round our dwelling. Oh, to hear the echoes pealing round our green and fairy shieling, when the three with soaring chorus passed the silent skylark o'er us. Echo now, sleep, morn and even, lark alone enchant the heaven. Ardan's lips are scant of breath, Nisa's tongue is cold in death. Stag, exult on glen and mountain, salmon, leap from loch to fountain, heron, in the free air warm ye, Usnach's sons no more will harm ye. Erin's stay, no more you are, rulers of the ridge of war. Never more 'twill be your fate to keep the beam of battle straight. Woe is me, by fraud and wrong, traitors false and tyrants strong, fell clan Usnach, bought and sold for Barach's feast and Connor's gold. Woe to Aemon, roof and wall, woe to Red Branch, hearth and hall, tenfold woe and black dishonour to the foul and false clan Connor. Dig the grave, both wide and deep, sick I am, and fain would sleep. Dig the grave and make it ready, lay me on my true love's body. End of poem by Sir Samuel Ferguson, read by Sandra. Section 5 of A Little Garland of Celtic Verse by various poets. This LibriVox recording is in the public domain. The Madness of King Goll. I sat on cushioned otter skin, my word was law from Ith to Imen, and shook at Invar Amargin the hearts of the world-troubling seamen, and drove tumult and war away from girl and boy and man and beast. The fields grew fatter day by day, the wild fowl of the air increased, and every ancient Olav said, while he bent down his fading head, he drives away the northern cold. They will not hush, the leaves a-flutter round me, the beech leaves old. I sat and mused and drank sweet wine. A herdsman came from inland valleys, crying. The pirates drove his swine to fill their dark-beaked hollow galleys. I called my battle-breaking men and my loud brazen battle-cars from rolling vale and rivery glen, and under the blinking of the stars fell on the pirates by the deep, and hurled them in the gulf of sleep. These hands won many a dork of gold. They will not hush, the leaves a-flutter round me, the beech leaves old. But slowly as I shouting slew and trampled in the bubbling mire, in my most secret spirit grew a whirling and a wandering fire. I stood, keen stars above me shone, round me shone keen eyes of men. I laughed aloud and hurried on by rocky shore and rushy fen. I laughed because birds fluttered by, and starlight gleamed, and clouds flew high, and rushes waved and waters rolled. They will not hush, the leaves a-flutter round me, the beech leaves old. And now I wander in the woods when summer gluts the golden bees, or in autumnal solitudes arise the leopard-coloured trees, or when along the wintry strands the cormorants shiver on the rocks. I wander on and wave my hands, and sing and shake my heavy locks. The grey wolf knows me, by one ear I lead along the woodland deer. The hares run by me growing bold, but they will not hush, the leaves a-flutter round me, the beech leaves old. I came upon a little town that slumbered in the harvest moon, and passed a tiptoe up and down, murmuring to a fitful tune. How I have followed night and day a trampling of tremendous feet, and saw where this old tympan lay, deserted on a doorway seat, and bore it to the woods with me. Of some unhuman misery our married voices wildly trolled. They will not hush, the leaves a-flutter round me, the beech leaves old. I sang how, when a day's toil is done, Orchil shakes out her long dark hair that hides away the dying sun, and sheds faint odours through the air. When my hand passed from wire to wire, it quenched with sound like falling dew the whirling and the wandering fire. But lift a mournful oolaloo, for the kind wires are torn and still, and I must wander wood and hill through summer's heat and winter's cold. They will not hush, the leaves a-flutter round me, the beech leaves old. End of poem by W.B. Yeats, read by Czandra. Section 6 of A Little Garland of Celtic Verse by various poets. This LibriVox recording is in the public domain. The Lake Isle of Innisfree. I will arise and go now, and go to Innisfree, and a small cabin build there, of clay and wattles made. 9 bean rows will I have there, a hive for the honey bee, and live alone in the bee-loud glade. And I shall have some peace there, for peace comes dropping slow, dropping from the vales of the morning to where the cricket sings. There midnight's all a glimmer, and noon a purple glow, and evening full of the linnet's wings. I will arise and go now, for always, night and day, I hear lake water lapping with low sounds by the shore. While I stand on the roadway or on the pavements grey, I hear it in the deep heart's core. End of poem by W.B. Yeats, read by Czandra. Section 7 of A Little Garland of Celtic Verse by various poets. This LibriVox recording is in the public domain. Aed tells of the rose in his heart. All things uncomely and broken, all things worn out and old, the cry of a child by the roadway, the creak of a lumbering cart, the heavy steps of the ploughman splashing the wintry mould, are wronging your image that blossoms a rose in the deeps of my heart. The wrong of unshapely things is a wrong too great to be told. I hunger to build them anew, and sit on a green knoll apart, with the earth and the sky and the water remade, like a casket of gold, for my dreams of your image that blossoms a rose in the deeps of my heart. End of poem by W.B. Yeats, read by Czandra. Section 8 of A Little Garland of Celtic Verse by various poets. This LibriVox recording is in the public domain. Into the twilight. Outworn heart in a time outworn, come clear the nets of wrong and right. Laugh, heart, again in the grey twilight. Sigh, heart, again in the dew of the morn. Your mother, Eerie, is always young, dew ever shining in twilight grey. Though hope fall from you and love decay, burning in fires of a slanderous tongue. Come, heart, where hill is heaped upon hill, for there the mystical brotherhood of sun and moon and hollow and wood and river and stream work out their will, and God stands winding his lonely horn, and time and the world are ever in flight, and love is less kind than the grey twilight, and hope is less dear than the dew of the morn. End of poem by W.B. Yeats, read by Czandra. Section 9 of a little garland of Celtic verse by various poets. This LibriVox recording is in the public domain. A Faery's Song, sung by the people of Faery over Diarmid and Grania, who lay in their bridal sleep under a cromlech. We who are old, old and gay, oh so old, thousands of years, if all were told, give to these children, new from the world, silence and love, and the long dew-dropping hours of the night, and the stars above. Give to these children, new from the world, rest far from men. Is anything better, tell us it then. Us who are old, old and gay, oh so old, thousands of years, if all were told. End of poem by W.B. Yeats. Read by Czandra. Section 10 of a little garland of Celtic verse by various poets. Down by the Salley Gardens, an extension of 3 lines sung to W.B. Yeats by an old woman at Ballisodare. Down by the Salley Gardens my love and I did meet. She passed the Salley Gardens with little snow-white feet. She bid me take love easy, as the leaves grow on the tree. But I, young and foolish, with her would not agree. In a field by the river my love and I did stand, and on my leaning shoulder she laid her snow-white hand. She bid me take life easy, as the grass grows on the weirs. But I was young and foolish, and now am full of tears. End of poem by W.B. Yeats. Read by Czandra. Section 11 of A Little Garland of Celtic Verse by various poets. This LibriVox recording is in the public domain. To the rose upon the rood of time. Red rose, proud rose, sad rose of all my days, come near me while I sing the ancient ways. Cohulan battling with the bitter tide, the druid, grey, wood-nurtured, quiet-eyed, who cast round Fergus dreams and ruin untold, and thine own sadness, whereof stars, grown old in dancing, silver-sandalled on the sea, sing in their high and lonely melody. Come near, that no more blinded by man's fate I find under the boughs of love and hate, in all poor foolish things that live, a day, eternal beauty wandering on her way. Come near, come near, come near, ah, leave me still a little space for the rose breath to fill, lest I no more hear common things that crave, the weak worm hiding down in its small cave, the field mouse running by me in the grass, and heavy mortal hopes that toil and pass, but seek alone to hear the strange things said by God to the bright hearts of those long dead, and learn to chant a tongue men do not know. Come near, I would, before my time to go, sing of old era and the ancient ways. Red rose, proud rose, sad rose of all my days. End of poem by W.B. Yeats. Read by Czandra, near Montreal, 2022. Section 12 of A Little Garland of Celtic Verse by various poets. This LibriVox recording is in the public domain. Over the hills and far away. To E. Nesbit. Last night, in the dark of the moon, into my dreams slid a fairy tune. It slew the dreams that I dreamed of him, with its moonshine music, faint and dim. What tune should the fairy pipers play, but over the hills and far away? The music called to my idle feet, and oh, the music was wild and sweet. I left my dreams and my lonely bed, and followed afar where the music led, and never a tune did the pipers play, but over the hills and far away. Over the hills and far away, what love has tenderer words to say? Love that lifteth or bows the head, love that liveth or love that's dead. Hills that are far away are fair, and I followed the ghost of my lover there. We danced all night in a silent band, I and my lover hand in hand. We danced, nor knew till the dew was dry, that deep slept Donat, and lone slept I. We took no thought of the coming day over the hills and far away. My eyes are blind with the growing light, and oh, my grief that the day was night. For my heart is broke for my lover's eyes, and all day long in my ears there cries the tune of the fairy pipes that play over the hills and far away. End of poem by Nora Chesson, read by Sandra. Section 13 of A Little Garland of Celtic Verse by various poets. This LibriVox recording is in the public domain. May Eve. There's a crying at my window, and a hand upon my door, and a stir among the yarrow that's fading on the floor. The voice cries at my window, the hand at my door beats on, but if I heed and answer them, sure, hand and voice are gone. You would not heed my calling once, and now why would I hear? You would not hold my wistful hand, but let it fall, my dear. You would not give me word or look, but went your silent way. Oh, wirrasth through, dumb mouth of you that had so much to say. Be still, my dear. I heed, I hear, but cannot help you now. The rose is dead that was so red, and snows upon her bough. Be still a little while, for I shall surely come and kiss the sorrow from your eyes, and from your kind lips dumb. Be patient now, of Wurnin, you may not lift the latch. Go hence. The wind is bitter cold that whistles through the thatch. The wind is cold, and I'm old, but you're young and fair to see, and my heart turns to you night and day, my fair love, leaving me. End of poem by Nora Chesson, read by Sandra, near Montreal, 2022. Section 14 of A Little Garland of Celtic Verse by various poets. This LibriVox recording is in the public domain. Where are you going? Where are you going, O Muirgeis, Muirgeis? Beyond all snowing, beyond all reach of tenderest speech, or waves that break upon any beach, or winds rough blowing on linn or lake, it's there is going your Muirgeis, oh. Where are you going, O Muirgeis, Muirgeis? Love is not knowing why you felt weary, why you found dreary the way all feet in the world are going. Stay with us, dearie. Ah, Muirgeis, oh. I must be going, though thou stand nearest of all, and dearest, you cannot keep me, for I must go. Though my heart's breaking, that I'm forsaking the faces kent and the ways I know, I'll not be staying, for all your praying, for all the gifts in kind love's bestowing. I must not stay, though you hold me so. Ach, no, no, no. My bird's the raven, the doves no more will I be heeding. Will I be feeding here at my door, crooning together as once of old? My bed's the heather, my bed is green, and it is not cold. To the quiet haven my boat is going, where no wind's blowing or storm has been. The ninth waves creeping about my feet, Let me go, sweet, I'm going to my sleeping and fain to go. Oh, Muirnian, Muirnian, my Muirnian, oh. End of poem by Nora Chesson, read by Czandra. Section 15 of A Little Garland of Celtic Verse by various poets. This LibriVox recording is in the public domain. 3 songs from Muirgeis, an Irish play. 1. The heart that's set upon a rose must break when summer goes. All flowers must as pilgrims fare when winter's trumpet blows. September sees the rose tree bare, and no October knows what roses are, what roses were. My love is not a rose. My love shall be a splendid star that shines apart, afar. Time cannot dim her lovely light, nor winds on it make war. The wide-eyed day, the dreamful night, behold no envy mar one rose of light that burns up blight as fuel for a star. 2. I call thee from the changing land to the unchanging sea. I bring a bride gift in my hand of immortality. The land is fair, but fairer far the pastures of the sea. Canst thou reach down the lowest star? My sea fires gleam for thee. All rivers run unto one end and perish in the sea. Turn thou from lover and from friend, and give thine heart to me. Thy love shall suffer change and dearth, thy friend the years estrange. There is no faithfulness on earth, the sea will never change. 3. My heart is heavy night and day, my fair love leaving me, that from my path you turned away to dwell among the Shee, where none grows old and none grows cold for hope or memory. I'm most sad while you are glad, my fair love, leaving me. Now every day and all night long I wear the bitter rue, and hear a wayward fairy song when I would dream of you. In all men's ears my tale is told, my griefs for all to see. Sad for your sake, I sleep and wake, my fair love, leaving me. You come not even to my dreams between the night and day. And have you drunk of fairy streams that washed your love away, O heart of gold, and left you cold as water and as free? Ah, wearest through, my heart's with you, my fair love, leaving me. End of poem by Nora Chesson. Section 16 of A Little Garland of Celtic Verse by various poets. This LibriVox recording is in the public domain. The Waves of Breffny. The grand road from the mountain goes shining to the sea, and there is traffic on it, and many a horse and cart. But the little roads of Clonach are dearer far to me, and the little roads of Clonach go rambling through my heart. A great storm from the ocean goes shouting o'er the hill, and there is glory in it, and terror on the wind. But the haunted air of twilight is very strange and still, and the little winds of twilight are dearer to my mind. The great waves of the Atlantic sweep storming on their way, shining green and silver with the hidden herring shoal. But the little waves of Breffny have drenched my heart in spray, and the little waves of Breffny go stumbling through my soul. End of poem by Eva Gore Booth. Read by Czandra. Section 17 of A Little Garland of Celtic Verse by various poets. This LibriVox recording is in the public domain. Innishail. I will go and leave the street ways and the world's wild, dinsome places, with the hurrying, weary feet ways and the folks of frenzied faces. I will go through darkened spaces, morning glad or starlight pale, through the rivers and the passes, till I find among the grasses long sweet sleep among the grasses of the graves of Innishail. Ah, ye daunt me with your wonder, and your toils about you lying. Oh, ye cities with your thunder, and your children in you, dying. And I weary, ever sighing for the whisper of the west, where the glow and glamour meeting, and the waves on long shores beating, are but echoes of the beating of the life's blood in my breast. I would plait a roof of rashes for the low place of my sleeping, where the wistful water plashes, crooning, croodling, laughing, weeping, and the winds from Quachan sweeping join their gladness and their wail, till the angel's glory blinds me, and the long sleep comes and finds me, in the tangled grasses finds me, by the graves in Innishail. End of poem by Anonymous, read by Sandra, near Montreal, 2022. Section 18 of A Little Garland of Celtic Verse by various poets. This LibriVox recording is in the public domain. Where you buy joy for a penny. You may buy joy for a penny yonder in Tyr-Na-N'Og. If you were King of Ireland, or but a barefoot rogue, your chances would be equal, for the roads are many, but they lead to one fair country where they sell joy for a penny. The king has got a goodly queen, and many a loyal vassal, and the blessings of the poor are the keepers of his castle. But his queen's hands cannot hold him, his queen's heart cannot keep, for voices out of Tyr-Na-N'Og have called across his sleep. Let down the drawbridge, bring in my horse from grass. Let others loiter through their lives and watch the shadows pass longer and ever longer. At noon I must away, when the shadows are at shortest and time takes holiday. The king has ridden westward, the way the bright sun goes, and the beggar by the roadside the self-same calling knows. The girl that begs beside him and makes her arm his pillow, he leaves her with a light farewell, and she may wear the willow. Now he that rides and wears a crown, and he that tramps his way, together find the self-same goal at dropping of the day. Though one has climbed the golden spears, one gone by lowlands fenny, both come at last to Tyr-Na-N'Og, where you may buy joy for a penny. End of poem by Anonymous, read by Sandra. Section 19 of A Little Garland of Celtic Verse by various poets. This LibriVox recording is in the public domain. The wind that shakes the barley. There's music in my heart all day. I hear it late and early. It comes from fields or far away. The wind that shakes the barley. Oh, hon. Above the uplands drenched with dew, the sky hangs soft and pearly. An emerald world is listening to the wind that shakes the barley. Ochon! Above the bluest mountain crest, the lark is singing rarely. It rocks the singer into rest, the wind that shakes the barley. Ochon! Oh, still through summers and through springs it calls me late and early. Come home, come home, come home, it sings, the wind that shakes the barley. Ochon. End of poem by Catherine Tynan Hinkson, read by Sandra. Section 20 of A Little Garland of Celtic Verse by various poets. This LibriVox recording is in the public domain. Beauty's a flower. Youth's for an hour, beauty's a flower, but love is the jewel that wins the world. Youth's for an hour, and the taste of life is sweet. Alice was a girl that stepped on 2 bare feet. In all my days I never seen the one as fair as she. I'd 'a' lost my life for Alice, and she never cared for me. Beauty's a flower, and the days of life are long. There's little known who may live to sing another song? For Ilis was the fairest, but another is my wife, and Mary, God be good to her, is all I love in life. Youth's for an hour, beauty's a flower, but love is the jewel that wins the world. End of poem by Moira O'Neill, read by Sandra near Montreal, 2022. Section 21 of A Little Garland of Celtic Verse by various poets. This LibriVox recording is in the public domain. Sea Wrack. The wrack was dark and shiny where it floated in the sea. There was no one in the brown boat, but only him and me. Him to cut the sea wrack, me to mind the boat, and not a word between us the hours we were afloat. The wet wrack, the sea wrack, the wrack was strong to cut. We laid it on the grey rocks to wither in the sun, and what should call my lad then to sail from Cushendun? With a low moon, a full tide, a swell upon the deep, him to sail the old boat, me to fall asleep. The dry wrack, the sea wrack, the wrack was dead so soon. There's a fire low upon the rocks to burn the wrack to kelp. There's a boat gone down upon the moil, and sorrow one to help. Him beneath the salt sea, me upon the shore. By sunlight or moonlight we'll lift the wrack no more. The dark wrack, the sea wrack, the wrack may drift ashore. End of poem by Moira O'Neill, read by Sandra near Montreal, 2022. Section 22 of A Little Garland of Celtic Verse. This LibriVox recording is in the public domain. Corrymeela. Over here in England I'm helping with the hay, and I wished I was in Ireland the live long day. Weary on the English hay, and sorra take the wheat. Och, Corrymeela and the blue sky over it. There's a deep dumb river flowing by beyond the heavy trees. This living air is moited with the bumming of the bees. I wish I'd hear the Cladach burn, go running through the heat, past Corrymeela with the blue sky over it. The people that's in England is richer nor the Jews. There's not the smallest youngest son but travels in his shoes. I'd give the pipe between my teeth to see a barefoot child. Och, Corrymeela and the low south wind. Here's hands so full of money and hearts so full of care. By the luck of love, I'd still go light for all I did go bare. God save you, Colleen Das, I said. The girl, she thought me wild. Far Corrymeela and the low south wind. D'ye mind me now? The song at night is mortal hard to raise. The girls are heavy going here, the boys are ill to please. When once I'm out this working hive, 'tis I'll be back again. Aye, Corrymeela, in the same soft rain. The puff of smoke from one old roof before an English town. For a shaw with Andy Phelan here, I'd give a silver crown. For a curl of hair like Molly's, you'll ask the like in vain. Sweet Corrymeela and the same soft rain. End of poem by Moira O'Neill, read by Sandra. Section 23 of A Little Garland of Celtic Verse by various poets. This LibriVox recording is in the public domain. A Broken Song. Where am I from? From the green hills of Erin. Have I no song, then? My songs are all sung. What of my love? 'Tis alone I am faring. Old grows my heart, and my voice is yet young. If she was tall, like a king's own daughter. If she was fair, like a morning of May, when she'd come laughing, 'twas the running water, when she'd come blushing, 'twas the break o' day. Where did she dwell? Where once I had my dwelling. Who loved her best? There's no one now will know. Where is she gone? Och, why would I be telling? Where she's gone, there I can never go. End of poem by Maura O'Neill, read by Sandra. Section 24 of A Little Garland of Celtic Verse by various poets. This LibriVox recording is in the public domain. I have been to Hy-Brasail. I have been to Hy-Brasail, and the land of youth have seen. Much laughter have I heard there, and birds amongst the green. Many have I met there, but no one ever old. Yet I have left Hy-Brasail before my time was told. Love have I known, too, as I shall meet no more. Lost is the magic island, and I cannot find the shore. Since I have left Hy-Brasail, age has encompassed me. She plucks me by the shoulder, and will not let me be. Her face is grey and mournful, her hand is hard and cold. Yet I have left Hy-Brasail before my time was told. End of poem by Dora Sigerson. Note: Hy-Brasail is one of the enchanted isles, sometimes seen in the western seas from the shores of Ireland. Read by Sandra. Section 25 of A Little Garland of Celtic Verse by various poets. This LibriVox recording is in the public domain. In Tyr-Na-N'Og. In Tyr-Na-N'Og, in Tyr-Na-N'Og, summer and spring go hand in hand, and in the radiant weather brown autumn leaves and winter snow come floating down together. In Tyr-Na-N'Og, the sagans sway this way and that, the twisted fern uncloses, the quickenberry hides its red above the tender roses. In Tyr-Na-N'Og, the blackbird lilts, the robin chirps, the linnet wearies never. They pipe to dancing feet of Sidhe, and thus shall pipe forever. In Tyr-Na-N'Og, all in a drift of apple blooms, my true love there is roaming. He will not come, although I pray from dawning until gloaming. In Tyr-Na-N'Og, the Sidhe desired my heart's delight. They lured him from my keeping. He stepped within a fairy ring while all the world was sleeping. In Tyr-Na-N'Og, he hath forgotten hill and glen where misty shadows gather, the bleating of the mountain sheep, the cabin of his father. In Tyr-Na-N'Og, he wanders in a happy dream through scented golden hours. He flutes to woo a fairy love, knee-deep in fairy flowers. In Tyr-Na-N'Og, no memory hath he of my face, no sorrow for my sorrow. My flax is spun, my wheel is hushed, and so I wait the morrow. End of poem by Anna McManus or Etna Carberry. Read by Sandra, near Montreal, 2022. Section 26 of A Little Garland of Celtic Verse by various poets. This LibriVox recording is in the public domain. To Morfydd. A voice on the winds, a voice by the waters wanders and cries. Oh, what are the winds, and what are the waters? Mine are your eyes. Western the winds are, and western the waters, where the light lies. Oh, what are the winds, and what are the waters? Mine are your eyes. Cold, cold grow the winds, and wild grow the waters, where the sun dies. Oh, what are the winds, and what are the waters? Mine are your eyes. And down the night winds, and down the night waters the music flies. Oh, what are the winds, and what are the waters? cold be the winds, and wild be the waters, so mine be your eyes. End of poem by Lionel Johnson. End of A Little Garland of Celtic Verse by various poets. Read near Montreal by Czandra 2022.